поканам доктор Тодор Chepreganov.
I'd like to invite Mr. Todor Chepreganov, PhD from the Institute for National History, promoting the peaceful the Treaty of Bucharest 1913. Dear all, it is my pleasure that today at this global conference of the Macedonian United Diaspora, we can announce the publication of this book, The Treaty of Bucharest and the Separation of Macedonia 100 years after the Treaty of Bucharest. 100 years after this date, and this tragic event for the peoples of the Balkans, the authors of this book very successfully familiarize the reader with this treaty and with this conspiracy for hiding the truth about the Macedonian identity, that is the continuing negation of the Macedonian identity before and during the Balkan Wars with consequences today. This book is fruit of strong motivation of a strong Macedonian officer and the negation of the Macedonian identity and the Macedonian victims in the Balkan Wars. This officer 30 years ago starts with scientific research in the archives in order to spread the truth about Macedonia in the world and regain Macedonian dignity. Vanche Stojcev, PhD, Colonel of Macedonian Army, has collected many documents, precious documents, to prove the Macedonian identity and tragedy, which among is the strongest evidence for our long century fight for our identity. These documents from the archives from Bucharest, Paris, London, Washington, Berlin, Vienna, Istanbul, Thessaloniki, Skopje, Athens, and other diplomatic centers regarding Macedonian questions, starting from the Berlin Congress, witnessed the expansion aspirations of all Balkan forces, which do not want to be reminded today of those of their aspirations, and which are responsible for the separation and denationalization of our people. That is why relevant documents have not been accepted. This approach may not have been, especially in the time of the Cold War, but today, 100 years after the Treaty of Bucharest 1913, and after the Bucharest meeting in Brussels, NATO, in 2008, we must not hide documents and facts, because history repeats. History should be understood and is a teacher of life, but not only if we use it wisely. Because of the current negation of the Macedonian identity in Euro-Atlantic integration, Professor Vanche Stojcev is a political science PhD and professor at the Jotevski faculty in Filip, about the consequences of the Treaty of Bucharest, accentuates the Greek policy against Macedonia in continuity since the Balkan Wars up to today. The book is 110 pages, basic body 300 pages, 400 pages original documents, facsimiles, protocols, which prove to all those who do not believe that the history has been falsified. Unfortunately, we do not have the annex about the fact that the Treaty of Bucharest lasts only 100 years, that now it is extinct. And different conventions documents, many unpublished documents, maps for recropping Macedonia and so on. The participation of the Macedonians in the Balkan Wars is analyzed in the book The Genocide and Assimilation Against Macedonians, Blacks, Muslims and other people from Macedonia, and the possibilities to regain their property, the Macedonians from Asian Macedonia. Many other issues not known to the Macedonian public, and especially the unpublished documents about the cooperation of the Macedonians and Albanians in order to fight for independent Macedonia. Unfortunately, this kind of book so far in the Macedonian historiography has not been published. Undoubtedly, the death of Mr. Vanche Stojcev made his son Alekandar Stojcev continue his work, who upgraded the book because he works on this issue also. This book also confirms that what does not exist you cannot negate. You can negate only what exists. Everybody knows this. I congratulate the authors, and I hope that the authors will be able to sign it if you'd like to buy it outside this room.